If you've ever been in the middle of an airsoft engagement and the crotch of your pants is ripped, hit that subscribe button below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out quite a bit. Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Chuckles here, back at it again. Got another theory video for you this time. This is packing for a MilSim. Now, the basis of this video are essential items that you're going to need when you're going to either a 1-day or 2-day MilSim event, and I'll specify what you will actually need. So, just going to jump right into it. You're going to start off with some basic stuff. So first thing, if it's a 2-day event and you're going to be staying the night and you don't have a really fancy hotel and your friend's bringing a tent, you'll want a sleeping bag. The ground is hard, it's cold, and normally has a lot of rocks on it, so whatever you can do to minimize the amount of pain that and discomfort you feel. Sleep's important, just like food and water. Next, we have your BDUs. They have to be faction specific. So as you can see, I have these M81. It's an assault shirt with a nice pair of pants. Always bring maybe spares. It never hurts to have it, but you have to be appropriate. It's whatever you wear on your head, your shirt, your pants has to be faction appropriate. So BDUs are essential. Always make sure you bring a belt. You never know what's going to happen. You'll need it. This is a Condor Riggers belt. These guys are really solid. I've had mine for 5 years. They do a really great job of holding everything up. Next, you'll want some sort of head protection, whether that is a helmet. So this is a maritime helmet, model FTD. It's just a maritime fast helmet. It's adjustable, so you can put whatever you want on it. It has Velcro, so you can put your patches, your red rags, your night vision if you happen to have that, which you probably don't, but most people don't. So this is good. It's an appropriate color. It's gray/green, so that's good. You may also want to just bring some sort of a hat, or generally speaking, cold weather gear. At night, it can get cold at some of these events if you're just lying on the ground, and heat won't retain really well. So in-game or off the field, cold weather gear is important. Gloves are essential, whether you're outdoors or indoors. There's a lot of things that you can cut your hands up, so having a little bit more of an aggressive glove. These are the Vulcan Zulu gloves. They're reasonably equipped for their hard knuckle. They have a lot of hard rubber on them, so they really feel like they'll stand up to a little bit of punishment. But it'll be good. Avoid cuts indoors or outdoors, whether it's an old rusty factory or whatever you find yourself in. This isn't a requirement. Most places won't require that you have any sort of lower face protection. Me personally, if I'm going to any sort of indoor CQB event or an event where there's a lot of close quarters fighting, I will bring a mesh mask. These guys just have a lot of opportunity for you to just breathe and not really have to worry about anything getting in the way and fogging you up and minimizing that. So always make sure you bring face protection. If not these, then probably a shemagh for outdoors. Eye protection and spare eye protection. So always have probably 2 pairs of goggles. Sometimes I run into issues where your goggles might get shot or they'll just wear out if they're old. Here I have these Vulcan Zulus. I've been running them for a little over a year now, and I've been loving them every minute. So much so I bought another pair. So these guys are a really solid option. Another requirement for most MilSim games, just about all MilSim games, is going to be a radio. The most standard is a Baofeng. Technically speaking, you need a license to operate this. So that's our legal advice. Get the licensing to run this guy. But they're very easy to deal with. You can set them up through your computer, everything. Always bring spare batteries for everything. You'll see that later on. So it's a spare Baofeng battery. Make sure that you have extras. You never know what's going to happen. Out in the field all day, battery may die. Swap it out. 2 should get you through an entire weekend. Code Red headset. This is the Recruit. So this is what I personally run, just one in the ear. And it'll just feed all the info in through there. Plugs right into the radio, so you don't really have any problems, and just have the microphone right on your person. Pretty easy to deal with. Next, you need to support your weapon system. A sling is important. If you're going to be doing a lot of walking, which you will if you're doing something like Spring Offensive or Autumn Justice, you're going to want this sling to carry everything around. Bear the weight of that gun because it can be a little bit heavy just holding with your hands. I've tried it when I first started playing and it wasn't the best idea. So I got a sling and it changed everything. Next, you're obviously going to want to make sure you have some sort of kit that's appropriately set up. This is just a Lancer tactical plate carrier that I grabbed, put some magazine pouches on it. You'll have it set up however to your liking. Indoors versus outdoors, you're going to want a lighter weight rig, a chest rig, blah, blah, blah. So that's really dependent on what you have. Next essential piece of kit is a sort of red light. So you either have a chem light that you can keep on your person, or if you want to put it on your helmet, you can have one of these FMA lights. Also, a red rag is required. If you go into the night portions, or if it's dark in buildings, you'll need a red light. Other than that, a red rag will do just fine if you don't plan on playing any night portions, but they will check you at a pre-combat inspection for these guys. Next thing, obviously, you're gonna need is your primary rifle. So, we picked the Elite Force Saber VR16. This guy is ready to go. It has a lot of upgrades straight out of the box. If you want a gun, you're gonna pick up, gonna be able to use, have very few problems with, and it's high tech, then this is gonna be the go-to guy. Just a basic thing. Put a sight on it, always helps aiming. You don't need a magnified optic. I put one on if you're outdoors. Obviously that'll help. Always when you're picking your primary, make sure you have something that you have extra magazines for, or that your friendlies have extra magazines for. Just in case your primary goes down, it would not hurt to have a secondary, a backup. So this is the AM005. This is nice, it's compact, so it won't take up a lot of space, but this thing will still be able to put down the fire and you'll be able to shoot people. But having a backup that also preferably uses the same mags as your primary will definitely be of assistance. Another thing you'll want is a flashlight. That's pretty much required at all events as well. This is one of the Night Evolutions one. This one also does strobe, which is kind of cool. I find it's more irritating than anything. If you need a quick light, just hit it and quit it. Along with that and the guns, one of the things you're going to want to keep is extra batteries. So you may have batteries in the gun. You want, at least going into an event, you want at least 2 batteries. If it's a 2-day event, you're going to want 3, just in case one of the batteries is dead straight out the gate. For the most part, as a rifleman, you will not be engaging, you will not be firing enough to wear out your batteries. And if you are, then you're probably doing something wrong. Extra flashlight batteries, so CR123As, always good to have. And like I said earlier, extra magazines for your primary are pretty essential. If you go to a MilSim event, they'll require mid-caps, so no springs or anything. I mean, no windy wheels or anything. Some events allow you to carry as many as you want, up to 12. Doesn't matter, you won't really need 12, but you have backups in case some of your mags break or your buddy needs mags, they get lost. You may or may not inevitably lose 1 or 2 mags out there. And just in case you run out in a quick situation or you need to go indoors, having your secondary, here we have the Elite Force Glock 17. These guys are brand new, but these are so far been proven to be a reasonably reliable platform. And then a holster, of course. Just as you have your sling for your rifle, you have to have your holster for your pistol, so you can have that on your person. So there's a point in having it, just in case your primary rifle goes down in the middle of an engagement. More often than not, you won't need that. Don't forget some sort of a speed loader. So obviously you could grab your Odins or any other sort of speed loader, magazine-sized speed loader are essential. Along with that, you're going to want to make sure you have propellant, either CO2. You're going to want extra cans of green gas. These will keep your sidearms going, whichever one. You don't need both. This is just whichever primary you run. Some people run the 1911, some people might run Glocks. You're going to want BBs, of course. Bio BBs are required for outdoor events. As a rifleman, I will never see you go through more than 5,000 BBs. That's very unreasonable. 2700 bottle is a lot more reasonable. Unless you're a saw gunner, you're going to want to bring at least 15,000 BBs. In my experience, personally, that's what I've seen. But for the most part, a rifleman, if you buy a bottle of 5,000, you're going to be set for an entire weekend. You won't have any worries about it. Next thing you can grab are grenades. So, outdoors events, you're going to want smoke grenades. You have an entire squad that you need to probably move around. Popping smokes is going to be a really quick way to just get your guys going so that you don't really have any issues with squad movement. And RTBs, these guys count as kills. Some places have a 10-meter kill radius. So if you toss this, or the dead room, you toss it in a room, it goes off, everybody who's not behind cover is dead. So RTBs are really good, they're loud, they're explosive, they're awesome. Definitely should pick them up, regardless of what you do. Next, elbow and knee pads, because you never know what's going to happen. I've seen people go down, kneel on a bunch of nasty rocks, glass, you name it. And so elbow pads not so much, but knee pads are probably going to be a really good piece of kit, especially in an indoor CQB environment like in a mill or something. But it's very important that you get knee pads. You don't want to kneel in any brush or on any thorns or prickers or anything. And then, of course, hydration. Now, this is just one of the recommendations that we have. This was one you can keep on your person. This is the Condor Tide Pool. This guy will just weave right onto your molly kit, or you can wear it separately as a backpack if you're running a chest rig. You can carry some small stuff in here, and it does have some molly space, but you're not going to want to keep that much on your person. In my experience, one of the most important things that you're going to want to do is you're going to probably want to keep like a bottle of Gatorade and a water bottle on your person, plus snacks. So everything you see here, short of the BDUs, maybe the hat and the sleeping bag and the Bayo Fang. Other than that, all of this stuff can be bought here. You have all of these things. Other things that I definitely recommend, if you're going to a 2-day MilSim event, you're going to want to bring water. Water is essential. The number one casualty that you see out in the field are heat casualties, whether it's hot, whether it's cold. You're going to be sweating under all that cold weather gear. You're going to be sweating under that boiling hot sun. So you got to make sure you have water. I always bring at least 2 gallons of water, plus extra water bottles for not only to keep on my person, but also for my teammates just in case. Another important thing is you're going to want to pack food. You want snacks, granola bars, Cliff bars, protein bars. These things are small that you're going to just go back to your CP when you're all dead, take it, eat it, just so that you can keep going throughout the day before you maybe hit end X or a pause X for dinner time or something. And then obviously bringing foods. I personally like to bring Uncrustables. They're really good. They come frozen out the box. You just keep them with all of your stuff. You go back to your CP, crack one open. They've thawed. You can just eat that. It's a really quick way to get energy. Puts a smile on your face. So that's a really good idea as well. And like I said, Gatorade or something to help replenish electrolytes like vitamin water or any other drinks that you can think of are going to be really important in keeping you going, because if you don't have electrolytes, you won't have the energy to continue through and to power through all of the engagements that you're going to be with. As for medical equipment, unless you're an EMT and you're trained, try to bring as little medical equipment as possible. You don't need to buy a $50 IFAC because you're not going to be able to use most of that. Things you may want to bring are like hydrogen peroxide, rubbing alcohol just to clean out any wounds. You're going to want some gauze and Band-Aids, maybe some ointment. Other than that, you shouldn't really bring anything. You're not trained to use any sort of medical tools, and somebody else who is trained, there are people on site that will handle any more serious injuries, so you won't need to see a need for that. Another thing that people don't think about a lot is sunscreen. I've been burned at events, not super bad, but bad enough that getting shot in the arms was not very ideal. So bring some sunscreen, just something light that you can just toss on, not worry. Bug spray as well is going to be important. If you're going to be sitting out in the field for a couple hours, you're going to get sweaty. Mosquitoes are going to think you're looking like a snack. So you're just going to want to make sure that you cover all of your bases. That way, spray your gear, whatever. Nobody cares how you smell. It's essential that you try to avoid as many outside variables that could harm your person as possible. Other than that, thank you guys so much. If you guys have any tips that you want to personally give to anybody, you've been to a couple of MilSim events, anything you feel like I missed, put it down in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Make sure that you guys, again, are subscribed here to catch all of our content. We got some really cool stuff coming your way. Summer 2018, we got a lot going on. As you can tell, we've already moved a lot of the store, and it guarantee you it's going to be changing again. So make sure you guys check it out. Hit us up in the comments below. Ask us any questions. Any other people that have any input, definitely toss it down in the comments below. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been your boy Chuckles, and we'll see you next time.